Yep.
Got it.
And then you have someone in your attendees section.
Yep. Roger just came in or is coming in. Hey, Tom.
Hello.
Tom, you're up as Nancy, your wife.
Okay.
My,
I have
iPad
to
was low.
I have to leave the meeting now.
Okay, I think we're set
I'm
here.
not, yeah, I'm gonna lose you guys. So
Okay. Yep. Thank you. And we'll be in touch on the public meeting. Hey, Roger.
okay, thank you. Have a good night.
Okay, guys, let's just, we're a little early. Let's just wait. Gorgeous day, gorgeous weather we've been having, huh? It was actually nice to go out water sampling for a change a couple days ago.
Hey, Jay, I found that boat number 2 bow down over at the hatchery, and I cranked it up as high as I could, and the puddle moved out of the forward compartment to around the console. And there was only 2 things of flares in there, and they weren't really soaked. But I really had to crank it up to the very top, if you know what I mean.
Jim and Mark said that they would take that and put it the way it was. I had it all set up.
I saw all the blocks there.
Well, I said I left it. I left it, and they said they would take care of it, and I just assumed they would.
Yeah, well, it's okay.
It's not like that not do it, but
yeah, I just thought I'd mention it. It's not a meeting item.
Well, it is under boats.
It's under boats.
Well, I mean, I didn't want to make a big deal out of it.
No,
it's a boat thing.
When somebody tells you to do something, you just assume they will do it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you actually make that assumption, Jay, and you've gotten through life to this point?
Yeah, well, they weren't. Neither one was there. Okay.
For a week.
Well, this was 2 days ago. Jim was in Florida, and I don't know where the other guy was. He's probably out on the water.
Well, doesn't matter now. It didn't get done.
Well, that's okay. It didn't ruin anything. The only thing if you haven't started the meeting.
We haven't.
Okay. In that forward console, when I found the flares, I found the plug that goes between the hulls, and it brought to mind a big mistake that I made. It had to be 10 or 15 years ago now. I picked up a boat on a trailer from Pirates Cove and took the lady from Ledge Light Health District out water sampling. I launched it at the yacht club. It was in the middle of maybe this month, April or something. And off we went. And we got out and we did all the outside stuff, out about Seaflower Reef. And we're out there and there's no one else out there. And I noticed the boat was kind of sluggish, when I we'd stop and take a water sample, and it was hard to get it back up on plane, to go to the next spot. And when I got back at the dock at the hatchery, and it sent her on the way with the samples, I'm sitting there with Jim and I'm looking, and I said, Jesus, Jim, I think my boat is sinking. So I run down the dock, and sure enough, it is. The plug in that particular boat went in from the inside, and you had to pop the round plate, about like a dinner plate, and reach around and find it.
Yep.
If I had done that out there, ran out of gas or something, we would have been toast. So I ran it up on the town dock beach and then rooted around and finally found the friggin' plug. And by that time it was half drained because I was up the beach, but not a good thing. In addition to that, if you had water in the bottom and you went to look over the side, she would have just turned turtle. So must remember to put that plug back in. It goes on that boat, it goes from the outside, which is a better thing.
Yep.
But when you go from the inside, you don't see them at all, you know? And boy, that could have been the end of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, why don't we get started here, guys? We've got a few folks from the public. And Paul, you're on mute, and same for you, Steve, but that's fine if you want to be. Let's call the meeting to order at 07:03 p.m. We have a quorum. Jay, myself, have Sixpenny Oyster visiting. Tom McLaughlin, pretending to be his wife, Nancy. Roger, Paul Watts, Steve Jones is here. Craig Tobias is here. And Greg Fettis, who is has a doc proposal for us to review tonight, is joining us. Just a quick, I'd like to appoint a procedure here. This was brought to my attention. I just want consensus from everyone. It was pointed out to me that if we have a resolution, a motion on the floor, those voting are restricted to the commissioners and any alternate commissioners that are promoted in a given meeting to fill a commissioner spot. Is that everyone's understanding?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, I'm going to go right to the public here. And Greg, why don't we handle you real fast? Greg has a proposal that he brought by to me, and I actually can bring it up here. In fact, well, I can bring it up for everyone to read, but I could also read it off here too. This is for an open pile dock that we need to sign off on. Let me read the proposal here. It's a 4-foot wide fixed pier dock, 110.2 long, proposed to extend from existing seawall along shoreline. Proposed work consists of driving 12-inch diameter wooden piles to a suitable depth for the installation of the 4-foot wide wooden deck. Tie-off piles and piles to hold the boat shall be driven as well where accessible. Piles shall be driven using a track excavator on the landward side of the seawall. Remaining work shall be done from a barge and crane located in Fisher Island Sound. Well, yeah, that's actually in Palmer's Cove. Smaller support craft will assist work. The fixed pier dock is the only area of construction. All equipment and materials shall be stored landward of the CJL. I'm not even sure what that stands for. Something central tide line? Huh. And this is at 15 East Shore Avenue. Jay and I talked about this when I talked to Greg a little bit about it. I don't think it's a problem, but because it's in Palmer's Cove and we've had, as we all know, our problems with water quality in Palmer's Cove, I thought this would be important to bring up for a motion and discussion. And I will make a motion right now, and then we can discuss a motion right now to approve this dock installation per the application form submitted to the commission, which I will pass on to Jay. Second.
Tell me where this is exactly. Before we go, tell me, is it on front of Seneca Drive or what?
No, it's over, you know where it's right across from Esker Point where the docks are.
It's almost direct. It's almost directly across from the tip of Esker Point, the southern tip of Esker Point. Groton Long Point.
So it's on Groton Long Point, yes.
Yep.
It's that far up, huh?
What number is the house?
15 East Shore Avenue.
That's quite a ways down.
It's right. It's four houses, Roger, from the corner of where Groton Long Point starts. It's 4 houses in. It's 2 houses. You know where Aldridge lives, the accountant?
Yeah.
It's
I
2
think
houses south of him.
I know where 7 is. Okay. It's got to be further in past 7.
It's further
7 is
south.
Yeah. 7 is the greenhouse that I've always wondered why they never hooked to the sewer.
Well, let's talk about the dock.
It's more towards Kitty Beach.
Is this replacing an existing dock or is this a new dock or?
New construction, right, Greg?
Yes, it is.
New construction.
Well, it's not in our clamming area, so I don't have any reason not to approve it.
Okay, can everyone see that? I just brought up the location.
No, I can't see that.
You can't see that? Can
Yeah, where-
can anyone else see the diagram
I
I
don't
just
see it.
brought up?
No. No, I just have one question.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay,
Can anybody hear me?
yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
Can you tell me where in relation to, say, the Kitty Beach and the Groton Long Point East dock is? Is it between those two or
No,
is it
no,
not?
it's almost directly across, directly west from the southern tip of Esker Point.
So
It's
then
way,
it's
before
south of,
Kitty.
it's south
way-
of the Kitty Beach then?
no, it's about a
North.
half a mile north of Kitty Beach.
North.
North, Esker Point.
Okay,
It's almost up to where you pick up the Groton Long Point Road across the causeway past the fishermen. It's directly across from, if you think of the southern tip, remember where 15-2 was, where we sample at that dock at the
Yes.
house there? It's
Yes.
directly west of that.
Right
okay,
across the water.
okay.
And there are a lot of other docks in there, right?
It's right
yes.
between two,
Yeah, this
it's right
is,
between two existing docks
Yeah, that's what I figured.
and
Yeah,
the same
this is-
length.
And
this
the
is
same
just
distance
one
out.
more of the shore development there.
Yeah, I
Any other
still don't
dis-
see any diagrams, but. Oh,
Yeah, yeah, I
We
don't know
have
why yours didn't come up. It came up for other people.
Oh, now
now
it's
I'm
up.
getting- Now
Uh,
now I'm getting all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Wednesday, I'm getting, well, I don't know what everybody else is seeing it, but I'm seeing schedules.
Okay, well, I just took it down, so
Okay.
you want me to try to bring it up again?
No, I think we know where it is now.
We're okay.
Okay. It should be up right now.
There you go.
There you
All
go.
right.
I
It's not-
see it
yeah.
now.
Yeah, okay, there it is. Got it.
Is that the house that just sold for $1.5 million or something?
Whatever it is, it seems all right, okay?
I think,
Okay,
so. There you go. That's real.
I'm okay with this.
there you go.
Where's the greenhouse, number 7 with no,
I don't know where the greenhouse is.
Doesn't matter, guys, let's go.
Yep. Okay, there's a motion on the floor. It's been seconded. We've discussed. All in favor?
Aye,
I
Any opposed? Any abstained? Hearing none, passes unanimously. Hey, Greg, I've got the form here. I will sign it off tomorrow. And do you want my original from me, or do you if I scan in the PDF? Is that
The
okay?
the PDF will be fine. Thank you.
Okay, and if anyone bugs you for the original, I'll have it in the file here, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, good luck with your dock.
Thank you.
Boating season's coming up, huh?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. I'm gonna move Will and Jason to the top here if no one objects, so they don't have to listen to this whole meeting. Jason and Will, well, Jason met with Jay and I, maybe 2-3 weeks ago at Jay's house, sitting out on the deck. Had just kind of a working session to kind of discuss where they were. And I told them that I would come up with what I call a POA&M, a plan of action and milestones, that I wanted them to provide us some information, kind of a working document of where they were with regulatory permits, coordination, and all that. We may turn this into a fact sheet, which would be really good when we do the public hearing, to pass this out or to put it out ahead of time so people can see all the work that these guys have done and all the authorizations and coordination they've done. Let me see if I can bring that up.
Yep.
Forgetting to hit share. There it is. Okay, please tell me if you guys can see this.
Now,
Good.
Okay, and this is essentially, as I say, I kind of provided the topics here. Jay and I provided the topics, and Jason and Will have been kind of rough in. I will make one comment, Jason, Will. I think this is a good start. I'd like a little more information in the status as far as, like for DABA, you say they support the proposal. Flesh it out just a little bit more. Is there an application? Is there a letter of intent or a letter of approval that's expected, and give some idea of when that might come through? Same thing with the Corps and the Harbor Master. That's great that they have no concerns, but is a letter on file in your hands, or is something coming? It would be good in all cases to have some type of documentation. Is that something you guys could work on?
Definitely. Yeah. We have, for most of the things there, we do have documentation. I wasn't sure, how thorough you wanted me to fill out that status section, but I could provide the documentation and also be a little more detailed.
Yeah. Don't go nuts, because as I say, I might want to consider like a 1-page or 2-page fact sheet to hand out ahead of and during the public hearing, whatever format that takes. I know where you are with it, that you've been talking to all these folks and all that, but yeah, kind of give someone like Mark Berry, if he's not going, I know you talked to him after I introduced you, and he's perfectly fine. And if he's not going to provide something in writing, then I think it's just fine to say, maybe indicate sent plans, discussed plans, and sent plans to Mark Berry. He replied in email on 3/23, no concerns with proposals, something like that.
Okay.
Okay. You guys have, can I take this down? Does anyone else want to see this? Where, as I say, it's kind of a work in progress as far as what we're doing.
I don't see
Yeah,
anything
I
about,
just have one comment. So I see two residents here that you guys have talked to, the Sutphins and the Smiths. Have you talked to other folks too?
So no, we actually haven't. Like I said,
So we've been in contact with the Sutphins and the Hoovers, which are the two most prominent viewing people. They're the ones who 79 Cedar Road. If you look on a map, they're the ones that they actually share the water line with the area. Other than that, we've contacted and given our information out to everyone that has a direct site of our farm, but no.
Other than, we were talking about knocking on doors, but I don't know how comfortable people would feel with us.
So we took the letter
It's
approach.
kind of strange times these days.
We did the letter approach to all the residents in the area, and the two we did hear back were from the Hoovers and the Sutphins, which seems like they're the most, probably directly involved with it, since they literally share the water line.
Sure. My only comment here is that, depending on the timing of how everything works out, the more people that you can get on board, the better.
Yeah, so we have Bruce Avery. He's signed on and he's given us his letter, which is great. And then,
we got, in addition to this, we did speak to the No Ink Rowing Club, which I feel like is a prominent group on that cove. And
Yeah.
We got their support verbally, but they said they would also send us a letter sometime before the
Yeah, whatever you can do to document things with dates and, just kind of line up the stakeholders who are on your side.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and that's why I said I'd like to have just a little more detail in that box there. Sent out 30 letters to all identified shoreline property owners on Upper BB Cove, received, you don't have to name every name, but, and probably
Yeah.
shouldn't name names, but, received 5 letters of support, no letters of objection, whatever,
Yeah, I think Dick's comments are good. You can't really over document this.
Yeah.
I think, and just, you want to be able to bring to the table that you guys have done your due diligence. And, these are the people on your side and these are the people that you reached out to.
Have you called the lanes yet?
The lanes.
So
Are the lanes,
Lane, Jonathan Lane owns property on the other side, right across from Sutphen's. And I had him put a stake out at the end where his landing is, so that you don't block his landing, so he can get out into the main channel.
so
I don't believe you've contacted him.
Jeez, I knew it.
yeah, I think,
So then we've been in contact with the Lanes and the Sutphens then. That was our confusion. We were kind of going back and forth trying to see if it was the Hoovers or the Lanes.
are they 132 Cedar Road?
That they have to be. That is definitely.
No, don't jump to that conclusion. They're not on any road. They're right across from the Sutphens, on the other side of the cove, with their backs to the railroad. There's no house over there, but they have a boat landing.
Okay, so maybe that sounds like someone we haven't contacted then.
That sounds like that. Now, I'll tell you, he lives on Front Street in Noank. I've talked to him, and all he's looking for is a channel off his landing, and he's got a stake on the shore. I had him put there. It's just up from where the pass through is out to the river, the upper pass
Okay.
under the
Okay.
railroad track.
And you
Okay,
said there's a stake there.
Jason, it might be good for you to touch base with them, but this is something that if that's a requirement or a request from them, that's something that we would probably consider in whatever type of lease we might give you, but you
Sounds like
might,
it's
if you
right
want to,
near
if you
your
want to
pier.
open a door,
That
if you
sounds.
want to
me
open
like
the door of
right near
communication,
your
that's good.
pier.
What was that, Roger? I'm sorry.
I said, that sounds like it's very close to your gear.
Yeah. Yeah, the upper pass there, I mean, we're looking at a
Yeah, we're
map
looking at the
now.
map right now.
I don't think that we would interfere with that and.
So wait, I'm sorry. Can you just describe it?
We could drive out there, and if there's a stake there or something that we can see, we can, look at that, and then from that we can.
This is simply on the
Jason,
other side of the
Jason.
cove. That is
Yeah.
Jason and Will, their property
Thank you.
is to the east of your working area to the railroad tracks. So you think the railroad owns that marshland?
Yeah.
That's actually, if you look on the Groton GIS, you'll see that they actually own a piece of property that you think the railroad owns. It's not. So you
Okay.
take your cove, they have the east, that piece of that marsh to your east, that's their property.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
so if
correct.
you guys haven't already, hit up the tax parcel map.
So we did, and
and
I think it said that it came up that the railroad company owned it.
No, you got to look
No,
at
no.
it closely. You'll see it.
Okay, I'll look again.
Okay, why don't you track that down and get back to us as far as if, go take a look at it, maybe have a discussion with the lanes on, I'm not gonna direct you, but I think this might be, just make sure this is not a pinch point, okay?
Yeah, of course.
yeah, there's no such thing as a good surprise.
Yeah, no, not in this business. Okay, before we talk about meeting scheduling, anything else, Jason, Will, or anything else from the commission?
Yes. I'd just
Yes.
like to make a few comments. I think Craig has made a good point here. I look at this chart, from DABA down to Groton Parks and Recreation, and I think it needs to be documented. I see verbal confirmation and no concerns, and written comment in support, which is pending. I think it's critical that we have all of this support in writing so that you guys have a letter that says we have no concerns about this operation, or we're in support of this operation, and that it's not just verbal.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
gotta dot the i's and cross the t's here. So that in 2 years, if somebody comes back and says, I can't get into BB Cove because there's 300 floating bags and I'm fouling my propeller and I can't get to my dock, that we say, wait a minute, 2 years ago, you said you were in support of this. So I'm just suggesting to you guys that you get this stuff in writing now before we proceed.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, that's our
you know, the
plan.
old adage of trust but verify.
I think it's critical.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I agree.
well, and we
This
already
needs to be updated.
we already have updates to this. We sent this out earlier in the week. And I'll be more detailed in filling it out, but we actually received a personal letter from the Sutphins, which we have now in writing,
Terrific, that's great, okay.
and also other people as well, but I
Yeah,
just
local
didn't
companies,
I didn't
etc.
fill this out super detailed because I thought it was, I just figured it was a discussion, and we do have the documentation behind, every statement almost.
Yeah, just start building your package.
So just real quick, I got it because I'm so confused. So I'm on the GIS right now, and what I have is anything near our gear. There's 2 parcels of land that I can click on. Parcel details. Both of them are owned district. They're by. Okay, here we go. Never mind. I'm sorry, I found it. Yep, the lanes. This is Penn Central Corp is one. I don't know what that is, and then Lane, Gregory Lane, and Jonathan D Lane.
That's right.
Got it. But so who's this?
This is Steve Jones.
Penn Central
I've been talking
Corp.
to these people about it. I'm the one that made them put
That's
the
the
stake
railroad,
out
okay.
there.
Okay, got it. Yep, I see
Now,
their
there's
parcel of land.
there's another
Absolutely.
question
What
I
an
have.
interesting parcel
There's
of-
another question I have.
Yes.
This goes to the Park and Recs people. Now, you say you got approval from them. I'm sure you did. But in my talking with them, what they need is a turning basin at the very top of that channel. Now, I haven't seen a map of where you're putting the stuff, so I don't know whether you're up way at the top of that channel at the very north of the cove.
We are
But
at the most northern point.
Yeah. Now, Mark Berry, the head of Parks and Rec, looked at the plans and emailed Jason back, no problems from Park and Rec.
Yeah, but listen, the problem with talking to the high people sometimes is they don't know what the actual people are doing. Because
Well,
the people
I can only talk to the top guy, and he needs to know his organization and coordinate, so.
well, that may well be, but what they need is a turning basin up there at the top of the channel, because obviously they have to turn.
Okay, well, we have a sign off from the head guy of Parks and Rec up there, so I can double back with him, but the
Well,
head
just
guy
ask
is.
him make sure he
Okay.
knows he needs a.
I'll double back with Mark.
Yeah, well, see, the problem, Richard, here is that this 80 people are involved in this, and they're not the professional people that you're talking to. They are the citizens who have this group, the Noank Rowing. And I'm not convinced that they have been talking with Mark Berry about the need for the turning basin.
Okay, well, that's why we have a public notice procedure with this coming up. But if there's another group that Jason and Will could discuss this with, I think they've done their due diligence with the head of Parks and Rec.
And we did reach out, and we're supposed to be getting a letter of support from the Noank Rowing Club. Is that who you're talking about? They need
I am talking about them, yes.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
so we did reach out to them, and they said they would write us a letter of support, which
Okay.
I spoke to the president of the club, Christine, I believe her name was. And she said she would be writing us a letter of support, and that as long as we're not in front of that underpass, that northern underpass there, that we shouldn't be in the way of them.
Okay. Why don't you, Jason, Will, why don't you add that to the little spreadsheet here, the little form, that group, okay?
Yep.
Great. Anything else from the commissioners? Okay.
I would just assume that when we have the public hearing, it will be truly a public hearing by that time. Not
That's what we need to discuss in just a moment here. I'll tell you what I talked to Lisa about.
Okay.
Okay. talk to Lisa. The state may allow offices, Groton Town offices to open again on the 19th of April. Though that is dependent on whether or not there's a COVID spike or whatever. I said that we would possibly, if Jason and Will are ready, we would possibly want to do the public hearing, and we'll have to discuss this either on our regular meeting day in May, or if we feel public hearing is going to take a lot of time, we can schedule another day. I also asked Lisa, because Jay brought up the concern that we might have a lot of people attending. We don't know. Asked Lisa if we could get the big room that the town council meets in and get some IT support with a projector in case Jason and Will want to put up a PowerPoint or whatever. Lisa says all those things are possible, and just to give our heads up when our plans gel a little bit more. So I don't know about does everyone, I guess I'd be comfortable doing this as a Zoom, but I'd rather do it in person if COVID.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay. And that's COVID dependent. If we're still locked down and Jason and Will need to move ahead in May, then we're just going to probably have to bite the bullet and do one of these, which is, I don't think anyone's preference. I'd rather be there face to face, but I don't control the pandemic, unfortunately. Okay, if there's nothing else, we better move along. We got a bunch of stuff on the agenda. Jason, will keep trading emails. You keep working on putting together,
Yeah,
real
we'll make
tight
sure
package.
we'll make sure this whole list looks like very finalized, and for you guys it makes sense, and for the public when they get it, it will look way more clarified on what's going on status wise.
And we'll give you some feedback. I didn't give you feedback on this because I knew we were going to discuss it tonight, but
Awesome.
yeah,
Thank
we do need a little bit more crossing the T's and dotting the I's and putting in, we're expecting a letter, requested a letter, got authorization, permit number, whatever, want to really show that everything's been taken care of here. So before we go into the public hearing, or at least if it hasn't actually been tacked down that we're expecting, let's say, a permit June 1st or something like that. So we have a date, a target. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, great. Okay, I'm going to move on here. Secretary's report. Yeah.
Oh, I think we're gonna head out if you guys don't need us.
Yeah, no, you don't want to listen to boats and bills and water sampling.
Well, thank you guys so
Yeah,
much.
thank you, everybody. Thanks for your
All
time.
right, see you guys.
Thank you. Okay, Jay, I'm going to put a motion on the floor to approve the minutes from March 11th.
Before you do that, Richard, is there any way we can get rid of this coordination stuff? Sorry, I
Yeah,
can see everybody, because when people talk, I don't know who's talking sometimes.
Okay.
Much better.
Do you want me to bring the minutes up? That will just block people again.
No, if you want, the minutes were sent by email to all members. Is there any comments?
Let's get a second on that. I made a motion.
I'll make a motion, they be approved.
Okay, second.
Second,
Okay. Discussion? Hearing no discussion. All in favor of approving the minutes from March 11th? Say aye.
aye.
All right.
Opposed? Abstained? Okay, minutes from March 11th carry unanimously. Jay, do you have anything else under secretary?
No, I've got other stuff we'll do in correspondence probably. So
Okay.
wait for that.
Let's move on to treasurer's report. Just a note, I did send out an email. Jay, I believe you have the boat repair costs. I saw the invoice on that, and I'll let you go over all these. Warden wages I saw were submitted, and I sent you my expenses and the Johnson bills I picked up from Ed Martin. So you should have all those.
I never received your invoices, Richard.
Just sent them today.
I checked at 5:36 o'clock. I still did not have them.
Okay, I'll have to send them all again.
Well,
It
if you
wasn't
give me the amounts, Okay, and what it's for, I think we can still approve those expenditures.
Yes, I probably can even pull it up. Go ahead with the other expenses. Let me go find it.
Okay, just so everybody knows, I just got back. I did not get any information from the town on our accounts because I was out of town myself. If they do open on the 19th, I will get some current paperwork on our expenses. At the same time, I plan on going to them, making an appointment, and have them explain to me this new system, which I'm having trouble figuring out because there's a lot of expenses being paid that I don't know what they are. Everything that we approve, I know what it is. Everything that they just take out of our account, I have no idea what it is. I know it's related to our wardens, but I'd like to get some sort of idea from them or statements saying what the money is and why it's being taken out. So I haven't done that yet because they haven't been open. I can't go there and do that. So that's on the income side. We have a small bill from two small bills from Johnson's Hardware for $8 and $3. The total is 11.55. Richard sent me the statements, but I don't have the actual invoices. So when I asked the town to pay these, I'm just going to say they're for hardware for the boats. Is everybody good on that? $11.55.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Our
Okay.
phone bill came in. The phone bill was 33.75. That's about our normal 32, 33 bucks. I authorized payment from the vessel offshore. The lady's very good with us down there. So that's already been approved, but the paperwork's not signed, but she will run it because we want to keep that phone bill paid because we had trouble, as everybody remembers, a couple of years ago. And that was, like I said, 33.75. We have a bill from CETO for our membership. It's a yearly bill. It's the same as last year, $179.00. If we all agree that's a payable bill, I will move on that. I have the invoice for that. I also have the repair bill from the maritime skiff. The maritime skiff was not in the water for like a year and a half. So I asked them to go through everything and check it to make sure, because I didn't want to launch and find out, oh, this is bad, that's bad. That bill came in at $1,587.98.
What the hell did they do for that?
I think they put a new motor on. I'm not sure, Roger.
It was
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Doesn't
a
take much.
long list. There were about 20 items they went
I
through.
mean, most of it is, servicing the motor, changing the oil, service the water pump, clean the vapor separator, replace that. And then it's all the oil, filters, O-rings, spark plugs, anodes, water pump kit, thermostat gasket, O-rings, gaskets, more O-rings, insulator, materials. We got a new battery because the other one was deader than a doornail. They gave us 20% off on the bill, and it still came out to $1,600, just so you know.
All right, so we're ready to take that thing to Portugal now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
We could go to Fisher's Island. We still have a lot of work to do on the boat as far as the gas tank, but we got all new gas lines. I mean, all the old stuff was removed and new stuff was put in. I was just, I don't know if you folks want to vote on these bills individually or if
No,
you
let's-
just,
well, let's do a motion at the end.
yeah, okay. Other than that, Richard, do you have your number for your?
Yes, it came to $271.60. If you don't get that email, it had about 7 different attachments on it with meeting stuff, but I can send it again tomorrow if you don't get it overnight, okay?
Well, I don't need it overnight because I probably can't get down to them.
No, if you don't see it in the morning, let me know or I'll send it out again, okay?
Right. And was this all photocopying for our management?
It was photocopying, ice, parking fees, delivery to Milford,
Usual.
gas for the boat, all that stuff.
Yeah, no, I just,
All broken
I'll
down.
get it when I see it. I just making notes for myself now.
Okay,
I did not submit warden's wages. I don't know.
I did.
Okay,
Roger.
Roger, you did? All right,
Yeah.
how many hours for Al?
Oh, I'll go get the sheets. It's all around 40. I have nothing but hours. You don't get Al's hours?
I don't get.
I'll go. So maybe I got them here. By the way, I was told not to use that damn Dropbox. That's only for the town clerk. They gave me hell on that. So I met the girl at the door. And it should get easier when the town opens, but that's not for payroll. Okay.
Sorry about that. They told me I could use it.
yeah, well, you're special. Well,
Yeah,
Roger,
Just for
fine.
you, Jay.
I got the hours here for you.
Go
Okay,
ahead, give me Al.
You just need Al?
No, I need them all.
Okay. Al is 40 hours flat.
Yep,
Mike Harris is 36 hours
yep,
and Ted is 40.
excellent. Thank you. So that's the warden's wages and was submitted by Roger. And he
And
got,
I wonder if they got paid because I got them in there like Friday morning on the 1st or
okay.
something. So
I'm sure I will hear if they haven't got paid. They're very
because
quick to.
payroll is done on Friday, so I just got
Yeah.
it in the nick of time.
We'll
last
don't
thing-
worry. They're not shy about complaining about
Yeah.
getting paid.
Without, when we get further along, I'll tell you, I had some more comments about our problems with particular individuals down there.
Okay,
And I
yeah,
got the hours.
let's stick to this first. I
Yeah.
need to know, Tom, were you able to do any pickups at the police station or Ken's or?
I did.
Okay,
Both.
so
Yep.
this comes under income, just so you know, Tom. So if you
Okay.
have any information for me, please give it to me.
Okay.
I'm ready.
I picked up the receipts at Ken's and I just brought it to purchasing. And as you know, from now on, they're going to copy and return the receipts to us. So I
Okay.
can really kind of keep track of everybody, the town clerk, Ken's, the police, the different licenses, and
Yeah.
I'll do it on a 4-month basis.
Okay. And the police, did you bother stopping there this month?
I did, picked them up and they're on the shelf. I separated them. They're on the shelf down at the lab.
And same thing with the town clerk.
They didn't have any.
Okay, so everybody, just so you know, Tom's been good enough to take over doing that, picking that up. And we now have, or will have all the copies of all the receipts that we didn't have before. And then we'll be able to figure out how much money it is. I don't have the income from the town because I didn't get back in time to get it today. So we'll worry about it next month if that's okay with everybody.
The following month, they're gonna give me the receipts from like March or something.
Okay. So we will need a motion,
yeah.
discussion, second, and a vote.
Okay, just before I
I'll
make a motion,
that if we pay the bills.
Go
okay.
ahead, Richard.
Yeah, before the motion, I just want to make a note that I went to Johnson's, switched the billing address to my name and my address.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor from Roger to pay the bills as expressed by Jay. A second.
Second,
Second.
Any discussion, further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
aye,
Hi.
Okay, against? Abstain? Carries unanimously. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to correspondence. Received, this is something I believe Ed's been doing on a regular basis as part of, from EB, I was contacted. They needed a permit to collect shellfish from closed waters. They do radiological monitoring with mussels at EB, and I was involved with this up at the base. I took it upon myself to sign off on that and send them a signed PDF. I did want to maybe go off on a little tangent here. I want to hear that you guys are okay if something really mundane and non-controversial comes to us, like a project up on the Thames River. Is it okay? Do you feel comfortable with me moving along with that? Would you like me to send it out to you between meetings? I'm trying to be efficient with these things as they come in. But I don't want to undercut anyone. If you feel uncomfortable with me signing off on something like this, then we can just kind of put the brakes on until we can discuss in a meeting.
I
Thoughts?
think it's you to go ahead
Okay.
and do it
Yep.
on non-controversial items like
Yep.
this.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
Me
Okay.
too.
Which brings me
Yeah.
to another thing I did, and we'll see, you can have I'll let you have second opinions.
Hey, what about Steve? I need to know if Steve agrees with that.
Steve,
Yeah,
do you
It's
agree with
okay.
that?
yes, I do.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you, Steve.
We had a coordination form come in for some dredging underneath the Gold Star Bridge where, I think it was the former Thames dredge and dock. Who's there now, Jay?
Mohawk.
Mohawk, that's it. I talked to Jay about this. It was a maintenance dredging thing, nowhere close to any shellfish bed, so I signed off on that too. So now if I
Good
push,
on you.
if it were anything, we actually held with this one from Greg on Palmer's Cove because we felt that was, even though it's only a dock, it was something I wanted to bring up to the commission because it was in a shellfish area. So I'll try to use my best judgment, and maybe I can give you guys a heads up in an email before I take actions in the future. Okay. Any other correspondences come in?
I got
That's all
one.
Yeah.
Okay with everybody? I received an email from Lisa, and you all may have seen it. And it was, she forwarded information from David Hale, who was our commissioner we had never really haven't seen, that he wasn't going to be in attendance because he was going to class tonight.
I got the same.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, because it was correspondence related to one of our alternate commissioners, I just figured that we do know that he's alive and well, and maybe we're going to start seeing him in the next couple of months at our meetings.
Maybe I need to, and we haven't heard a damn thing from him for 6 months. He's been copied on every email I've sent out. He's been, I think, down Florida, and I think he said he was coming back in April. Here we are. What do you guys feel? He hasn't really participated, even down in Florida, but should I reach out to him and once again ask about his commitment to the commission?
Yes.
I think that's
I don't see
appropriate.
why that would hurt at all. And, if he doesn't show up for a few more months and he's back up north, then it's a serious business.
Let me use my best diplomatic skills, and not piss him off too much. But yeah, let me try to reinforce to him that we meet on a regular basis and we need participants.
I mean, it's nothing
okay.
personal. It's like, you either engage or you don't. And
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah. We've seen it at one meeting and then he took off to Florida, and maybe he's not computer savvy, but look at all the gray hair here. We're doing Zooms, no problem. Or you can call in. So the lack of engagement is concerning me. And tonight, the excuse was something like he's going for an electrical contractor license, and this is not a good night because it's his night for classes or something, which if that comes up every second Thursday of every month, that's not a good thing. Okay, I will engage with him.
Richard, one more thing. You had on your correspondence Mumford Cove dock.
That was, we handled that with Greg. That's the dock.
That's Groton Long Point.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, man, that's a mistake on my part.
Palmer's Cove.
Palmer's.
I've got right now, as you're going to hear in a second, I've got Mumford Cove on my mind. So, no, yes, that was Palmer's Cove. Okay, anything else for correspondence? Hearing none, let's go on to old business. Water sampling, we're closed across the board right now because of the rain last week. I was out with Michael sampling on Wednesday, and had to drive the samples down. Sampled C, P, and E, took a plankton sample for red tide at Mumford Cove, and they requested some mussels. They have mussels hanging from the dock there at Mumford Cove, and I met with Shannon to send some mussels down. I think they're doing it. This is for virology for, I think it's for red tide stuff, but they probably do bacteriological analysis too. So we need to get our April opens. If it does not rain too much this, well, we'll be sampling next week one way or the other. If it goes over an inch, then I'll be out there sampling to get open. If it doesn't go over an inch, I'll be out there sampling to get the April opens done. But aside from that, we're in good shape. I will note that oyster season in Mumford Cove shut down at the end of this month. Those are seasonal activities per our management plan. Okay, Craig, I know you probably don't have much, but I wanted to discuss a little bit the shoreline survey, cursory shoreline survey that Tom and I did. Going around the shoreline, I was thoroughly unimpressed with outfalls and runoff sources and all that. But Eccleston Brook, I am very, very suspicious of. It drains all of central Groton up to the transfer station beyond 95. Goes through wooded areas, residential areas, semi-developed areas. I looked closely when I was down there. As Jay pointed out, there's an old concrete weir that used to have flashboards. The water goes over that before it dumps into Palmer's Cove. There was a storm sewer smell to the water, which, again, don't read too much into this. There was some foaming, but the water is going over about a 2-foot spill, so could be biological material foaming. And the rocks on the bottom were just covered with green algae, indicating good nutrients there. This is certainly the biggest freshwater inflow to the cove, and it's a big stream, like 10 feet across, 2 feet deep, and I bet it rips after a 2-inch rainfall.
Yeah.
I would love to, and we'll have discussion here, love to get one of your samplers, and you could securely, there's a road that goes right over the creek below the dam, so it would be really easy, and good deep water, really easy to get a sampler in a secure location that no one could see. What do you think?
Yeah, it's great. We actually just replaced our old one. So you can take it for its trial run.
Okay.
So you and I can coordinate either this upcoming week or the next week, and I can get the equipment transferred off to you.
Okay.
And we can figure out whether or not you want it triggered with a water level sensor for storm flow sampling, or whether you just want to do some time series base flow sampling.
Okay.
And then the other thing we'll have to figure out is what do you actually want to analyze for?
Yeah, why don't you put eyes on the situation out there, and then we can kick it around. I'd be concerned with if we're talking about actual compounds, nitrate, nitrite, can you do fecals, phosphorus?
Yeah, nitrate, nitrite are easy for us. Phosphate's a little more trouble. Fecals are a little bit more trouble over that, just because that's what my lab is set up to do.
I guess nitrate, nitrite.
Location, when you guys get a chance, I want to make sure where you're talking about. That's
Okay.
the road to Haley Farm, right?
Brook Street.
Right.
Yeah, and it goes
Yeah, so
right.
that's all floodplain down there, right?
Yeah, but what bothers me is, and I'm not sure about this, is Lower Brook Street or Old Brook Street, as we used to call it, off of 215. I don't think they have sewers on that road.
They
They
don't.
don't.
Yeah.
And
Well,
when you have a heavy rain, their backyards are level with the stream.
Yeah, it's all floodplain. down there.
Yeah.
It's gotta be sucking in their septic system.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
their-
my guess is that what you probably, on heavy rains, you're basically, it's their leach field.
Yeah, well, I was very focused on just that neighborhood, Roger, until I realized that was Ecclestown Brook. So multiply the concerns with that neighborhood by 50.
Yeah, because you've got sewer all on 215, but
Yeah.
that branches off 215.
Yeah,
And I don't think there's anything to Haley Farm.
There
Now,
isn't.
you get around the corner a little bit and the new construction has sewers,
yeah.
but.
Well,
Yeah, so we can take a staged approach to this. I mean, the nitrates, those are pretty easy for us to run, and they're good proxies
It might be a
for,
marker,
for,
yeah.
for other things.
If we find
then if-
anything that's really significant, and I'm sure that the people there wouldn't mind seeing the sewer, it would cost them a lot of money, but I think they have issues with the high water level and their backyards being smelly.
Yeah, so why don't we connect and, I can do some recon with you. Just to
Okay,
get a feel for the landscape. Then we can move to getting one of the samplers deployed.
okay.
And then we can do some nitrate analysis. And if that ends up being interesting, the other thing that we can do in my lab, which is pretty standard for us, is we do nitrate isotopes, which gives you an indication of what the source of that nitrate is,
That would be good.
right? So does it look like, goose poop, or does it look like human
Fertilizer or, yeah.
fertilizer? Yeah, so we can, let's just take this one tier at a time, and as it gets more interesting, we can get a little bit more
Okay.
refined in what we do.
Yeah, and there's going to be questions too about, we've actually had good results, but if there is a pulse coming out of that stream after a major rain event, that might be what's causing, who knows, there's so many parameters that we could toss around here. I think you're right. If we can pick out something that's a good marker of a potential water quality concern, maybe intermittent, and then take it from there. I'm just
Yeah,
very,
nitrate's pretty good
yeah.
in this kind of situation.
I mean, this Eccleston Brook just drains all of central Groton. It is a massive, massive watershed, and a lot of it's forested, but a lot of it's developed. So
But
I don't think,
Isn't the key,
Yeah, I'm sorry,
isn't
go
the
ahead,
key
Paul.
concern here, excuse me, but isn't the key concern in Palmer's Cove fecal contamination, coliform?
Yep.
So isn't that what we should be zeroing in on?
but
You'll have to send the
Yeah,
analysis out. I mean, the irony here is that the fecal coliform counts are actually an easier analysis than what we do in our lab. It's just that we don't do them. So if you want to send them out for analysis, that would be, the direct connection that I think Paul's trying to get to.
okay, let me suggest something. I'd like to get the water sampler going, and especially if we see nitrate, that certainly gives us some indication of water quality impacts. Let me work with the state, go to Alyssa, and see if she'll be willing, as we go out and sample E on a regular basis, Palmer's Cove. Tell her what our concerns are, and maybe I can pull a fecal up there in the stream. That's fresh water. Does that affect fecal analysis at all?
No, not at all.
Why don't I
And-
do
and
that,
My,
and then-
my recollection is that when we talked to her, she was open to the idea of
Yeah.
tagging on some exploratory fecal samples. I think the downside to it was that whether or not it was going to count against us in terms of trying to get back to an open status.
Let me bring that up again, but that's way up in a that's always been closed up there. I mean, that's a half a mile north of
Yeah, I you know,
I mean, this is
I
essentially,
agree with, I
yeah.
agree with you.
yeah,
But it just, it kind of depends on what they are required to report, I guess.
okay, let
I don't know.
let me make sure that this is not going to give us more of a black eye if we produce. I mean, this is a source investigation. That they do that all the time, but yeah, let me make perfectly clear that if this is going to count against us potentially getting Lower Palmer's Cove open, then I guess I'd be real hesitant to shoot myself or ourselves in the foot.
Yeah, I think, but Paul's point is well taken. I mean, if
Yeah.
this is the criteria that we're against, then
Yeah.
measure that criteria. You know, there's probably some independent labs that would
We
do
have
it.
the water filtration plant years ago when we were fighting the Paquonic River thing and the sewer system, which was finally improved. We used the filtration plant. The Groton City analyzed our samples for
Okay.
feet,
Yeah,
Let me,
they were happy to do it. I mean, they, It-
yeah, so we could get the diagnostic information. You know, without having
Without getting
DABA, you know,
black eye,
have
so-
to report these numbers because that's what they're mandated to do.
let me have a careful conversation with Alyssa. I've got a good working relationship with her and just kind of touch on this. If I get any indication that this could be a black eye, then maybe we find someone unofficial for our study.
Right.
Our sewer plant can do it too, you know,
Yeah,
Who can?
our Groton sewer plant.
Oh, okay.
yeah, but
When
in
they
any
have
case,
bill like all-
you guys, you know, you guys can use the sampler, and if we need to rig it up for, you know, elevated flow, I'm pretty sure I got a couple of pressure transducers that we could
Okay.
use as a
Okay.
trigger.
Let's pursue both those tracks. I'll talk to Alyssa.
Jay has a question.
Before we go on, Craig, I've recovered a lot of these scientific instruments. If something happens to your brand new instrument,
Yeah,
we need to know what we might have to pay for.
oh, okay, yeah, the replacement cost is probably like a couple of grand.
Yeah, I figured.
All right, so everybody needs to know that up front, because you're in an
Point.
area where people have access to something. If it needs to be attached semi-permanently to something like a rock or a piece of concrete, I can do that underwater.
Yeah, this is, luckily, this is not a piece of equipment that gets deployed underwater,
Okay.
because I still have some of those hanging out in the Western Sound, which I will probably never see again. These are actually just, it sits landside and then sampling tubes go in. And usually what we do is we chain it and padlock it
Yep. Okay.
to something that doesn't move.
Right.
Okay.
So there
Let me
is,
get-
so kids just can't walk away with it.
Yeah, yeah. Let me get you out there. I think I've
Yeah, it's about
deployed
the
these-
size of R2D2.
Yeah. I've deployed these things before with the usual security concerns, and I think this is a really good site to hide it pretty well, and probably doesn't. So. Okay.
I don't recommend putting radiation stickers on it. That
No,
will come back to
I-
bite you. Sometimes you'll learn that one the hard way.
Have you tried that?
Sometimes you'll learn it the hard way.
Okay, great. Yeah, let me follow up on that. Permit management, permit vendors, I don't think, Tom, we kind of went over that. And I also did get you, left you 75 copies of the regs permits to
Yep.
hand out as you see fit to Dottie, the
Will
town,
do.
the police, and those are down at the office.
We'll pick them up. Thanks.
Okay. Jay, anything else on commercial leases? Do you have anything aside from the Will and Jason saga?
No, I just think that we should, as we think about moving forward with this public hearing, we have to remember that these two individuals, Sixpenny Oyster, We've extended their CM already once. And now we were only supposed to run it for 2 years. They've had it for longer than that because Roger, we had a little problem before. So we made a motion. I checked it to, move them, let them have another 2 years. We probably have to do something before July 1st with these individuals. I don't know if we can extend it for a third time because we're not supposed to do that. So everybody should understand that we have to do something for these individuals one way or the other. That's all I have on the leases.
I think we're on track to do something, COVID willing, if we really get slammed with we should be able to work something out in the next 2 months. If they continue doing their due diligence and getting everything together, then I think we'll hopefully be ready to go in May, no later than June. Okay, thank you. Boat status, just one thing quick, we need to get the #1 boat out of Yukon no later than April 15th. I plan to be out water sampling next week, one way or the other. Jay, if we can't get the mooring in, what I'm going to do is bring the boat down, cable it to the post, and put an anchor off the stern and cleat it, and that will be our mooring.
No, we'll get it done. We'll get it done.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably want to move the boat Monday or Tuesday when we water sample. Plans aren't set yet.
All right, I'm going to try to do that this weekend.
Will you please let me know if you need a hand or?
No.
Or I could even bring the boat down and use it as a floating platform if we have to hammer that thing in.
No, we got Chris Kane out there. He'll be working for us.
What do you pay him?
Zero.
Okay, anything else on boat status, guys?
The maritime skiff is going to need more work. The wardens are going to probably help me do that to get it operational. We have the paperwork for the mooring. Actually, it's moorings now. We can put a second mooring set up in the ball field area. I've got the paperwork filled out and signed by the harbor master, so we're good to go for this year for all that stuff. And of course,
just so everyone understands, the plan is to put the #2 boat that we just spent $1,000+ on at a extended mooring in the river there, and that's the wardens would like to use that boat. It should get some use, and that may be the boat that we move out to Yukon next year for winter operations. Maybe.
And vessel #3 is still at the hatchery.
Okay. Anything else on boats? Other old business? We're pretty much done here because we talked about Sixpenny. Roger, you want to, I don't know if I want to talk about the wardens and their problems with the cranky alcoholics at Bluff Point. I've given the wardens guidance on what they have to do, and I'm getting a little tired of, if they're being sworn at or having issues, the state controls those parking signs, and I've told them to get in touch with the state law enforcement folks to have them come down and talk to John the woodcarver and give them hell, give them a ticket, kick them out. So,
well, I did hear about it from Al when he delivered the timesheets, and I reiterated. He said, well, I feel threatened. I said, then call 911. Because he said, when I call the DEP guys, they don't show up. I said, well, if you feel threatened, call the cops.
Yeah.
And we'll get this guy arrested. He said they sit there and drink.
Yeah.
And they're not necessarily clammers. They drink these nips, he's telling me.
Yeah, no, they're that's, well, I got into
I
a
haven't run
run-in.
into them personally, but I
Yeah.
mean, it's.
No,
So
they're
I said,
hangers on. They're out there all the time. A lot of them have drinking problems. They got nothing better to do. They're retired or unemployed. I got along with all of them except for the run-in I had with one of the Scroggin boys who who, when he's drunk, he's hell on wheels. Then he came over and apologized to me. I called the cops. I'm kind of feeling, and I've told the wardens this, I said, don't expect that the commissioners are going to come down and give John the wood carver a talking to for parking illegally in the warden spot that was set up by the state. You know, it's unfortunately become very inflamed. Al wanted to get those warden parking spot signs put in. It was right and appropriate for him to do that because we do need a parking spot there. I got ticketed out there by the state one time for parking in a no parking spot. I had the ticket fixed. I called the guy up and said, what the hell? But unfortunately, we've got a guy out there, John the wood carver, who lives out there 7 hours a day and has for 20 years doing his wood carving. He feels he owns the place. But it's become, since they've gotten into a fuck you, I should say that on a recorded meeting type thing.
Listen to that all week.
Well, that's what it's come down to. It's become, it's polarized now. It's become a flashpoint, and it's like, the state owns the property, they approve the signs, they control behavior, call the wardens, call the state wardens. If the state wardens can't come, because when I had to call in on the Scroggins, state wardens didn't show up for 3 hours. Groton cops got there immediately.
Yeah.
So I'm continuing to reinforce that with them. I think I gave them, you saw the email, I think I gave them good guidance on what to do here, and if they want a shoulder to cry on, they can cry on my shoulder, but
Well,
I told them I'm not gonna, none of us can control someone behaving badly on state property. And that's all I have to say about that. Okay, anything else, folks? Hearing nothing, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
What about your resolution?
The resolution, thank you, Jay. I sent an email to Betsy and Crystal at town clerk's office saying, I'd like to understand where the permit fees go, whether they go into a special town clerk budget or into the general fund. I think they go into the general fund, but I wanted to hear back. They haven't responded to me, so I'll have to rattle their cage again. So let me just keep that tabled, okay? Okay.
Got a motion, I think.
Yep, motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're adjourned.
Good night.
All right, good night,
Hi,
gentlemen.
guys.
Okay.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah.
Tobias.
Steve,
Jones.
has
Listen,
Alex reached out to you yet?
Who? You're talking about
my
the student?
Yeah, my student Alex, has she reached out to you?
No, can you got a good clear line to me so that you can plug us in?
I mean, I have your telephone number that I got from either Helen or Nat,
Yeah,
and I tried calling you and I got your voicemail that said this number does not accept voicemails.
okay, look, I've got two telephones. One is a landline that accepts email, accepts messages, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, that's 536,
536
yeah, 2273.
2273.
Yeah,
So if Alex calls you on that, she stands a good chance of getting you?
yes, what she'll get is she'll get a message and my wife will read that and she'll do it to me and then I'll get back to her on this channel you and I are talking on right now. That will work, believe it or not. And then I come out and play the cello and do the go out. No, it's just, this will work.
All right, so she's gonna get the full treatment. Excellent.
Listen, her project, which is to do with how the Mumford Point,
Bluff
State
Point,
Park, yeah,
Bluff Point, yeah.
Bluff Point. The reason I hesitate is because it really is Mumford Point, and that's a part of the history of the thing. Bluff
Okay.
Point is, yeah, that's just a nuance of the thing. Now, I was directly involved in that, and I know all the players and so forth, so I'd be a good
Yeah,
person.
I assumed that you were the person that she needed to talk to.
Well, absolutely.
Okay, so I'm gonna give her this number, 860-536-2273.
Absolutely. She'll call on that, and if she gets us, so she gets us, but otherwise, expect to have her get a message, a tape, but that will be the beginning of wisdom. Right
Oh,
there.
I'm sure it will. I'll pass that on, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, it will sound discouraging, but it isn't. Then I will get
No,
back
no,
to her.
Trust
get
me,
back to-
part of this class, this class is all about imparting a sense of reality into these graduating seniors. So
We
that's
like to do
fine, you
reality
know?
at least once a week.
It is highly overrated, but it is necessary.
No,
No,
I've been trying to, I've tried everybody that I could think of, including numbers for you. And I talked to Nat. Nat, of course, is in the Woods Hole, and we had a
Yeah.
nice talk. And after a while, I said, "Where the hell are you?" And then I realized, because I know that he goes up there, that's his childhood home, you know. And so we did that, and I've talked to Helen, and you know, I've been circling around and around, and it's driving me
yeah,
nuts because
Steve, do you have a pencil and paper? I want to give you my telephone number,
that would be excellent.
okay?
Yeah.
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
508
508
274
274
9471.
9471. Okay, 508.
Okay, so if Alex can't get a hold of you and you don't hear from her, call me and I will figure out how to get you guys together.
Absolutely.
Okay?
That'll do it.
Okay, that's great. Thanks a lot, Steve.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, good night all.
Good
Okay.
night. Thanks, guys.